Alright, what's up everyone? Firstly, just want to thank you for clicking on this video. This is my very first video, so kind of my introduction to the YouTube world, if you will, right? And really, I appreciate you, taking the time out of your day to watch my video. Now, in this, really, what I will touch on is how I went from failing high school to a fairly well-paying job as a software engineer, which is what I currently do. I'll, give a high-level overview of my journey. And I do have some notes in front of me just to make sure I stay somewhat on track. This video is going to be fairly off the cuff, so just off the top of my head. But these notes will make sure I don't ramble on about random things, right? So without further ado, really, we can go right into it. I think the most vivid memory that I have starts from grade 12. And in grade 12, there was the graduation ceremony. And I remember walking up. Now in this ceremony, basically, for any of you who may not be familiar, you walk up to the podium, right? And your principal's there, the teachers are there, and they hand you your diploma. They shake your hand, they say good job or something like to that effect, and maybe you take a picture and then you walk off. So I went up, I saw my principal there. I go up, I shake his hand. He looks me in the eye, he smiles, and he says, "You're so close." And I'm like, what do you mean I'm so close, right? Like I thought I was graduating, but it turned out I had failed one course that was required for graduation. So I had to take that in summer school, and then I graduated. So technically I graduated later than all my peers by about a semester. And I would say it stung at the moment. Like it wasn't the best feeling to, not graduate on time, but to say it was unexpected would really be a lie. Like all throughout high school, what I was focused on was like instant pleasure kind of activities, if you will. So I was focused on, going out, just having fun and not caring about anything that really required hard work, discipline, and really staying focused, right? So what I wanted to do after high school was really the same thing. I wanted to get the first job I could, get some roommates, move out, and keep doing that until maybe 2-3 years down the line. And I thought, okay, that's when I would get my life together. And my parents, they recommended otherwise. And they said that, hey, we think you should go into criminology, go to post-secondary, study criminology, and see where that takes you. And, I didn't really argue too much with them. I was like, okay, if you want me to go to college, no problem. So I went to college, and that was really a major turning point for me. And the turning point didn't come from criminology itself. Criminology was an interesting topic, but I had met someone in this program, and this person was in way better physical shape than me. Like I was really, really skinny, just not in any sort of peak physical shape. I didn't really used to lift weights or do any planned workouts or things like that, right? So I met them, and they were much more muscular and much leaner than me. So I wanted to look like them, so I just, became friends with them. And then I said, hey, can you teach me how I can do this as well? And, they kind of guided me along the nutrition side and the workout side. I took all that information and I ran with it. And I focused on working out for about the next 2 to 3 years, and I still focus on it quite a bit. And I would say about 2 years in is when I looked in the mirror and I was like, okay, I'm starting to look pretty good, like that was a major confidence boost. But not only was it a confidence boost, you look at that and I thought to myself, this is an avenue in terms of physical fitness that I had been holding myself back on for so long. I always wanted to look better, but I never just buckled down and dedicated myself to it. So if this is one avenue where I had been holding myself back, like this is what I was capable of, but I never did it, what are some other avenues where I could have been holding myself back, right? And that was really a major turning point for me. And I thought about it, and I realized my career. I was really unhappy with the way my career was going. The reason was I wasn't the one taking charge and saying, hey, I want to do this and doing what I want to do. Like even with the criminology degree, when we talk about that, right? My parents were the one who recommended it, and then I just kind of ran with it, right? So I wanted to be really the one who made the decision, said, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to study. I didn't want someone else to really lead that way for me, right? So I wanted to be the one really at the forefront, if you will. And so I thought about what I wanted to do. I was already doing my criminology degree, and I was basically done with it. And, I realized that I would always been a little bit on the nerdier side in terms of technology, right? So I've always loved technology. and I realized that, hey, computer science is a great major for someone like me who's into technology, who's, thinks technology is incredible. Because even to this day, I use my phone, I look at my, touchscreen and how it works and how I can just swipe and it responds. And it's mind blowing to me that this is, how great technology is. Mind you, touchscreens were available for years now. So there's new technology coming out every day. And every single time there's like a new advancement. It's incredible to me. So I thought, hey, you love technology, this could be a good avenue. Let's try it out. So I signed up for the computer science program at my local university. And at this point, I actually hadn't finished my crim degree. So I was doing the criminology degree and the computer science degree at the same time. Now, this is kind of an important point to note, because if we think back to the point of high school where I, wasn't even managing a high school workload, like I was failing high school courses. And at this point, I've, dedicated myself to 2 university workloads. It shows the confidence I built through the physical fitness, because I thought to myself, hey, when I, started the physical fitness journey, I never thought I would get to the point where I'm at now. And, I think by employing the same focus, the same discipline, and the same qualities that I've gained through the physical fitness, I can accomplish this as well. And so I took both the workloads and I ran with them. And I would say after about completing 2 computer science courses was when I started applying to internships, and I received a coding challenge. And it was from a company I really wanted to work at. Like it was, it was pretty, pretty, how do I say, important to me, I guess is the best way to say it. Like if I could get into that company, that would be like, yes, like I really wanted it. So I got the coding challenge, I did it, and I failed it horrendously, terribly. Like I'm pretty sure I got like maybe a few questions right, and it was like multiple choice and then an actual coding aspect, and I think I did terrible on the coding aspect, and maybe I got a few multiple choice questions right. So that was, pretty discouraging. But like I said, from the discipline I'd gained from my physical fitness journey, I know I had setbacks there, and that's what I saw this as. I was like, okay, this is a minor setback. If I keep pushing, I will overcome this, right? And sometimes I understand how this, like something like failing a coding challenge can be discouraging, because if you look around, especially on social media, right? Like there's Clement, and he's a very intelligent person, and he has this video where he talks about how he got into Google within 4 months of coding. So when you first see those videos, you think maybe that'll be me, right? Like maybe I go 4 months into the program and Google's like coming knocking at the door saying, hey, we want to hire you. But that didn't happen. And in fact, I had failed a coding challenge for a company whose challenge was significantly easier than Google's, which is, even more discouraging, right? But, I didn't let that discourage me. I was, of course, a little bit sad at that point, but I kept pushing. And after about 1.5 years of my computer science program was when I got my first full-time job offer as a software engineer. Now, this was for a local company, a few minutes away from my house, in fact. And, I was still in my computer science program at this time. So I actually ended up declining that offer, because I felt that focusing on school and just getting school done first would, lead to the best results in my scenario. But the reason that was also a pivotal moment is because when you have that job offer in your hand and you think about, for the last year and a half, I've been working my tail off trying to get a job offer, trying to prove to someone that, hey, I know my stuff in this field, and, I can contribute enough to where you'd want to pay me to contribute, to your code base or whatever. And that's what this job offer was. They were saying, hey, we want to hire you. We want to pay you for contributing to our code base. That was, a very good feeling. And that only brought my self-confidence and my ability to accomplish goals even higher, right? So I declined it at that time, and I kept pushing. And at January 2021, there was another internship opening at the same company. So you remember the company I talked about where I had, failed the coding challenge initially, and they had another opening at January 2021, and that was, the one I had applied to. So they sent me another coding challenge, this time for the 2021 position, and I took the coding challenge. I did fairly well, and then there was a phone interview. I did, fairly well in the phone interview as well. And they extended an offer for the internship. And that was like, yes, that was like another pivotal moment where I can look at that. I look at the contract in my hand and say, this is something I've worked my tail off for the last 2 years, and now I'm enjoying the fruits of my labor, right? You look at things like that, and it's always just, it's not about the money you get, and it's not about any other thing, any of the other aspects. It's really like the feeling of self-fulfillment you get. It's almost addicting, and it's one of the best feelings ever, where you look at it and it's like 2 years of hard work, and the like I said, the fruits of that are in your hand. It's just really, it's an incredible feeling. So I looked at that, my self-confidence got even higher. I was like, okay, if I can accomplish this goal, what else can I accomplish? That thought came back in my mind, right? But regardless of that, maybe that's a topic for another video. I took the offer, and on the first day, or within the first week of that internship, they showed me the code base and showed me where I would be contributing. And that was another overwhelming moment, because I saw the code base, and this was my first time really seeing and trying to contribute to a code base within an organization. In school projects, you usually start projects from scratch. You don't have to work in the midst of code written by other people. So I saw the code, and I was just like overwhelmed. Like, I had no idea how this function worked or that function worked, how this was connected to that. And I remember, my mom asked me like, hey, how was your work day? And I was like, I didn't understand a word of that code base. And I was like, I don't know how I don't know how I'm going to do this, really. So that was another overwhelming moment. But, I thought back to the other goals I'd accomplished, and I was like, no, I've done challenging things before. I can, and I will, overcome this challenge as well. So I worked my tail off at that internship. And after about 4 months in, it was a 4-month position. I was the only student to receive a certificate of recognition for major contributions during my work term. And that was, again, another pivotal moment, no other way to say it, where, you look at that award that's in your hand. I think about the day I was overwhelmed on day one. And I think about, I look at the certificate in my hand, and I think now, and I'm like, there's another challenge I've overcome. Another big challenge came my way, and I overcame it. And the natural thought comes, like, how much more can I do? I don't know. Like, potential really feels limitless at that point. But anyway, that company, they wanted to take me on full time after that internship. So we started the interview process for, converting me from an intern to a full-time employee. And at the same time, there was another company that I had applied to, and they got back to me. Now, this other company took me through the interview process, and, I believe there was a phone interview, a video interview, and an on-site with 4 interviews. And after that was over, the other company actually extended an offer first. And that is the offer that I signed, and that is, where I currently work. And that was the offer for 6 figures. And again, I'll say it again, you look at that contract in your hand, and I think back to the last 2 years where, 2+ years really, I had never worked a job that paid me more than maybe $20 an hour. And that job, the $20 an hour job, had no benefits. So I was getting paid in lieu of benefits, in lieu of vacation. The actual salary for that job, I believe, was around like 16 or 18. And then the hourly wage was bumped up by about $2 to $3 because I wasn't getting benefits. And now I have this offer, in my hand, and it's for 6 figures plus and benefits. It really, it showed me that hard work pays off, discipline pays off, and it only grew my self-confidence in my ability to accomplish goals even more. So now I look back at, who I am now and the person I am now, and it's not really about, the offers in my hand or the money or anything. That's nice, and of course, I do like it, and the money is a great perk. But really, the self-confidence I've gained in my ability to accomplish goals is the number one thing that I would say I'm most happy with having gained throughout the process. And that's where, I hope to help out other people who were maybe in the same position as I was coming right out of high school, where you have no focus, you have no discipline, you don't have a lot of self-confidence in your ability to accomplish goals. And I hope that I can also, by sharing my journey, motivate you and, push you a little bit to get to that position where you believe in yourself, where you have the self-confidence to accomplish, difficult goals as well. And that's really it. That's the goal of this channel. So that's another goal, if you will, that I hope to accomplish, which is to motivate as many people as possible you know, who may be feeling the similar way that I was coming right out of high school, and to help you again build up that confidence. So that's it. That's the whole video. So I appreciate you watching. Please do drop a like and subscribe. These videos do take, like, even a 10-minute video can take up to 2 hours sometimes, because webcams don't work and microphones don't work, and, you know, technology, confusing. So please do drop a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.